This story comes out of the South China Sea. Looks like China is the Debo in that region. That's what it's looking like. Let's get into it. China says a Chinese vessel and Philippine supply ship collided in disputed South China Sea. All right, June 17th, 2024. From the Associated Press out of Taipei. A Chinese vessel and a Philippine supply ship collided near the disputed Spratly Islands in the South China Sea on Monday. The Coast Guard said a Philippine supply ship entered waters near the second Thomas Shoal, a submerged reef in the Spratly Islands that's part of territory claimed by several nations. The Philippine military called the Chinese Coast Guard's report deceptive and misleading. The Chinese Coast Guard said in a statement on the social media platform WeChat, the Philippine supply ship ignored China's repeated sonar warnings and dangerously approached a Chinese vessel in normal navigation in an unprofessional manner, resulting in a collision. The Philippines is entirely responsible for this, it added. In Manila, the Philippine military said it would not discuss operational details on illegal humanitarian rotation and resupply mission at Ayungin Shoal, which is well within our exclusive economic zone. It used the Philippine name for the shoal, where Filipino Navy personnel have transported food, medicine, and other supplies to a long grounded warship that has served as Manila's territorial outpost. We would not dignify the deceptive and misleading claims of the China Coast Guard military spokesman Colonel X. I can't pronounce that. Trinidad said. The main issue remains to be illegal presence and actions of Chinese vessels within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, which infringes on our sovereignty and our sovereign rights. The continued aggressive actions of the Chinese Coast Guard are escalating tensions in the region, Trinidad said. The Philippines says the shoal, which lies less than 200 nautical miles, 370 kilometers, from its coast, falls within internationally recognized exclusive economic zone and often cites a 2016 international arbitration ruling that invalidated Chinese expansive claims in the South China Sea based on historical grounds. Several incidents have happened in recent months near the shoal, where the Philippines maintains an outpost aboard the BRP Sierra Madre, which had been encrusted with rust since it was deliberately grounded in 1999, but remains an active commissioned military vessel, meaning an attack on it could be considered by the Philippines as an act of war. China has increasingly become assertive in pressing its claim to virtually the entire South China Sea, which has led to a rising number of direct conflicts with other countries in the region, most notably the Philippines and Vietnam. A new law by China, which took effect Saturday, authorizes Coast Guard to seize foreign ships that illegally enter China's territorial waters and to detain foreign crews for up to 60 days. The law renewed in reference to 2021 legislation that says China's Coast Guard can fire upon foreign ships if necessary. At least three coastal governments which claims the waters, the Philippines, Vietnam, and Taiwan, have said they will not recognize the law. The territorial disputes have strained relations and sparked fears the conflict could bring China and the United States, a longtime treaty ally of the Philippines, into a military confrontation. Washington lays no territorial claims to the busy seaway, a key global trade route, but has warned that it's obligated to defend the Philippines if Filipino forces, ships, and aircraft come under an armed attack in the South China Sea. Aside from China, the Philippines, Vietnam, and Taiwan, Malaysia, and Brunei are also involved in the long seething territorial disputes, which is regarded as a flashpoint in Asia and a delicate fault line in the long-standing U.S.-China rivalry in the region. Indonesia has also confronted Chinese Coast Guard and fishing fleets in the past in the gas-rich waters of the Natuna Islands in the fringes of the South China Sea, where it blew Chinese fishing boats and had taken under custody. Its navy also fired warning shots at Chinese vessels straying into what Jakarta regards as its exclusive economic zone. Okay, so China's being the bully in the region. They trying to expand their territorial waters into other people's zones, and basically they deboing people in the area. It's like, hey, this is our waters. You can't come here. And what seems to have happened with the Filipino vessel, Filipino are claiming that that is an economic zone and should be able to go where they want. And it seems like this Chinese vessel jumping in front of them, like, hey, go around. That's what it seems like. As you see in the pictures, they hitting them with water cannons. Yeah, I hope nothing pop off in this region, because we do not need to be over there fighting China, because what's going on in that area. If we get into a naval war with China, that'll be a war that I don't think America could win. I've been reading a lot of reports saying the U.S. Navy is still stronger than the Chinese, but I've read years ago that the Chinese have outpassed our Navy, and I got the numbers to prove it. The Pentagon's 2023 China military power report said China's Navy had about 370 warships. The fleet is expected to grow to 395 ships by 2025 and 435 ships by 2030. The current U.S. fleet is smaller, with more than 280 vessels. The Secretary of Navy expects to reach 300 in the early 2000s. Now, where America has them, and I don't think they really have them with these numbers, it says that we have four aircraft carriers and China has three. But one of China's aircraft carriers is the largest aircraft carrier in the world. It has more aircraft on that ship. I believe, like, I want to say like 35 more planes can be on this ship. I mean, it's huge. It was a project the Russians were working on, and when the Soviet Union collapsed, they never finished it, but China built it, and it is massive. America has the advantage with the nuclear subs, but China has us on the overall fleet. The overall fleet, China has more battleships than the smaller ships. Chinese has us in those numbers. China currently has 13 more warships than the U.S. The bulk of Beijing's navy includes 23 destroyers, 59 frigates, and 37 corvettes, or a total of 119 surface ships. Liaoning, Shandong, and the Fujian. I guess that's how you pronounce that. The U.S. has the most in surface, 64, followed by Russia, 37, China with 12ish, France with 11, and then the UK. India has also. Okay, so the nuclear subs, it says America has 67 nuclear subs and China 59. They're not too far behind in the nuclear subs. And I would assume that China subs are probably a lot newer than the American subs. I don't think nothing's gonna pop off in that area. What's probably happened is the Filipinos are probably telling their vessels to not engage with the Chinese to prevent such a war. The the captain of the ship that collided probably is not going to be out on the water for a while, because things like this, small things like this, could escalate into a war. China's trying to provoke an incident is what they're doing, and if you fall into it, it's going to be bad things in that region, and the outcome is not going to be well. All right, I just thought I'll bring something different. I do follow along with the world news and like to stay in tune with what's going on out here. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the next one.